Today on the show, we are going to be talking a little wellness business from the boys from Factory 6, and we are also talking wellness with Dr. Hatch from Brain Rehab Clinic, all about concussions, and this guy.
And I'm going to talk a little skiing because it's right around the corner.
Oh, all this and more happening right here, right now on Talk365TV. Here we go.
And welcome back to the show. Now, let's talk a little bit about travel.
Yes, perfect. You have been a travel bunny in spite of current conditions. Through the summer, all through the fall. You've done Mexico twice. You've gone to see the parents.
Gone to
What are your
the beach.
tips, recommendations?
Delta Airlines. Delta seems to be the airline that is carrying this or taking the COVID situation so seriously. They don't book a lot of seats. Other airlines are packing up. And so Delta really is doing a great job. And then you can look at certain hotel chains are doing a much, much better job. So for instance, down in Mexico, the hotel we were at limited itself to 25% occupancy. That was it. No outsiders could come to any of the restaurants. Your health checks when you get there, it was amazing. Everyone wore masks. So
Wow.
hospitality industry realizes that they've got to do everything right. And these bozos who get on a plane and then all of a sudden their civil liberties are more important. Oh my, and Delta's smart. They ban them from flying again. But
Right.
I was in a store the other day where a Nudnik was in there coughing like crazy with no mask.
Wait, a what?
Nudnik.
A Nudnik.
Just
I'm going to need a definition.
a Nudnik is a
Is
guy.
this a made-up word or is this a trip word? Or
This is a made-up word.
Okay, trip word. Got it.
But this guy's in the store and he's coughing like crazy. And just because a guy like that is, anyway.
What I love about what's happened is everything you just said about the extended services that the hospitality industry and everywhere you go is doing to keep things clean. I definitely appreciate that. And we went actually on Alaska Airlines and then Southwest Airlines to Portland. And I mean, I tell you, we were like first-class citizens in that whole thing. I felt like I was one. I mean, they did the same thing. Everything was social
What do you think of the new
distanced.
airport?
It's interesting. Well, first of all, we got there, we got dropped at the new airport we saw, we were like, oh, lovely. And then we walked for 45 minutes to the old airport where we boarded right back where we started. So I had worn new boots and let's just say my blisters broke them in.
Even if you go to the new airport and have a gate at the new airport, they are long walks. This airport...
It's a big airport.
And, it's fine if you're younger, but think about the elderly, think about it.
You just have to plan. I think maybe if you've not listened to the information out there from the new airport, because I'm sure they're telling us this, plan plenty of time to walk to your gate because chances are it's going to be back at the old one, which is like 2 miles back the way you got dropped.
Yeah.
Wear comfy shoes and maybe bring a towel and some water. Maybe do your Fitbit that time, count your steps, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you do get a lot of steps. So anyway, it's a gorgeous airport. It's amazing that they were able to build it simultaneously while running the old airport. So everything is now, another area is open, so it should be much better. But
yeah,
I was prepared to be wowed, and I go, wow, this is inconvenient.
Right, with just that whole section of it was very inconvenient. And then those white tiered things that go up, how many children are going to fall off that? I'm not to put out a negative thing, but like seriously, it's like it's a kid waiting to break its head for sure, right?
Aside from that, what do we have coming up?
Coming up next, we have got our wellness business news you can use. Yeah, we're fusing the two, and we'll be right back with that right after this.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my passion has always been to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. TV has helped MyPillow become the amazing company that it is today. So my employees and I want to thank you with some of our best prices ever. Go to mypillow.com right now and click on TV specials. You'll get deep discounts on MyPillows, mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regular $89.99 for only $29.99 with your promo code.
Hi, I'm Dr. Hatch here at Brain Rehab Clinic, and we have developed a supplement that hits the key 3 most powerful neurotransmitters and aspect of the brain that enable you to sleep. What we've seen about the brain is a lot of people are giving just melatonin or just GABA or just serotonin. But when you make a cake, do you just cook the eggs and just cook the flour? The reality of it is you have to connect it all together. And what we have found that with a mixture of melatonin, with serotonin and GABA, it creates one of the best compounds to enable your brain to get into that deep sleep in that high-low delta wave at the best possibility we can. For more information or you'd like to purchase the product, go to the website directly and get your order today and begin that restful sleep that you are looking for.
Business news you can use is brought to you by Factory 6. And welcome back to the show. Trip Mitchell, Holly Love, and you want to talk manufacturing.
We are talking manufacturing, we are talking hemp-derived products, we are talking businesses and entrepreneurs that want to have a product line for themselves for under $500 in a couple of weeks. It's possible with Factory 6, but because manufacturing is such a big business here in Utah, it's like a $19 billion business. It's crazy, it's huge, and there's a lot of competition and there's a lot of options. What's your experience? Who do you know who's had any experience in this field or done anything like it?
I had a buddy of mine who had this miracle compound, and he had it manufactured, and he had to buy 2 years supply, but I lost touch with him. But he had some challenges, I know, because, you know, it's not geared up to the little fry.
Right. Well, most are not. So he was in a situation where he had to get a ton of it, like really output a lot of upfront money in order to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the product? I'm just curious.
So it was a derivative of fish oil, but it literally was life change. It made my knees so much better.
Really? So it's like glucosamine kind of stuff?
Exactly. Yeah, and he manufactured it himself, and it was just a fabulous. But he's a little guy. He had to get 2 years supply. That hurts you on cash flow.
Right. Well, Factory 6 is an amazing company that they genuinely want to work with you, no matter your size. If you're a huge company that is already in the industry of sales with product lines or whatever, they'd love to add to it. You could do a custom line with them, or they have a white label menu of options that is phenomenal. They solely do hemp-derived products, so we are talking drinks, we are talking creams, we are talking tablets and amazing oil, and that really caters to the smaller business and the entrepreneur, because really you can have your own product line in as little as 2 weeks for under $500. And their MOQs are small. And then on the flip side of that, they really communicate with you and they want you to come in, they want to educate you about hemp-derived products, what they are not, the legalities, how to label, how to really understand the industry, no matter your size. They want to spread the love and the information and dispel the misinformation that's out there. Anyway, Factory 6 is the place to go if you've been thinking about this for 2021, new year, new you, new business. We're all thinking outside of the box. They're the people to call. And if I didn't convince you, Scott Miller's going to tell you a little more about it, and I guarantee he will. Here you go.
Today's Talk365TV's Wellness Minute is brought to you by Factory 6.
Hi guys, I'm Scott Miller with Factory 6. Let me tell you a few ways that we're different than some of our competition. One of the things that we really pride ourselves in is being able to take care of our clients from start to finish. I've worked on both sides of the industry, both as a buyer and as a manufacturer, and one thing that really has been frustrating to me is when I've worked with other manufacturers, just how difficult it is. They seem to be more focused on manufacturing a product than they are working with a client. So that's something that we've really incorporated with Factory 6, is taking the time to listen to you and to see exactly what your needs are and then make sure that we fulfill those needs throughout the manufacturing process. We're not going to leave you high and dry. We're going to help you through the whole process, give you updates. We're going to be completely transparent with you and give you the highest quality product possible. So call us up, come check us out. We're going to take care of you.
I'm Chris Berman, and welcome back to the biggest auto protection show on earth, brought to you by CarShield. If your car is out of warranty or close to expiring, you could get stuck paying thousands for an engine, transmission, or computer system breakdown. But when you have CarShield, you'll never pay for covered repairs again. CarShield makes sure you don't have to pay for expensive car repairs, and that's why I'm a CarShield customer.
Call 800-970-1872.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my passion has always been to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. TV has helped MyPillow become the amazing company that it is today. So my employees and I want to thank you with some of our best prices ever. Go to MyPillow.com right now and click on TV specials. You'll get deep discounts on MyPillows, mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regular $89.99 for only $29.99 with your promo code.
Brain Rehab Clinic is proud to announce that they're the first clinic in Utah to have on site the gyrostem. And welcome back to the show. That would be Holly Love. I am Trip Mitchell, and we're talking mental health because the last 7-8 months have been difficult. People you think would be totally could handle things are sometimes having the toughest trouble. And people you think, boy, I'm a little nervous about them, come through like a charm.
Right. There's no telling how this has hit someone personally, professionally, in their family. For me personally, I have to say it's been a really fortunate year. I'm super grateful for all of our clients, including our wellness team. And for the wellness team, we are talking mental health, and we're going to do a bit of a mandate for the next few months leading into the new year, because mental health needs to be a focus right now, and there are so many different aspects of mental health to be addressed, from not only counseling and having a good plan that way and mental coaching, but then there is the side of the biology, and there's the side of like blood work and hormone therapy, and then there's what Dr. Hatch does with concussions, because if you've had a concussion, if you've bumped your head even within the last 30 years, there are mental symptoms like anxiety, sadness. Concussions are often associated with someone being ornery, but they don't necessarily really bring it together that no, the concussion is the reason they're ornery. The actual injury to the head is making them behave in a different way. And then those lingering anxiety, depression, thoughts of, even suicidality can creep in with concussion. So mental health awareness, we are talking concussions. Here is Dr. Hatch from Brain Rehab Clinic to tell you all about it.
Talk365TV's Talking Wellness is brought to you by Brain Rehab Clinic with wellness team expert Dr. John Hatch.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Talking Wellness. Today we are back at Brain Rehab Clinic to continue our coverage on brain function with Dr. John Hatch. Hi.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm doing really good, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us, because we are talking about a topic today that is near and dear to my heart. Concussion. We're going back to basics with the brain, because it is a very common problem, and there is some new findings that is a game changer for how you treat concussions, how people should be seeking treatment, all of that good stuff. So let's just dive in. Like, what constitutes a concussion for somebody?
Well, a lot of times we look at mild traumatic brain injury versus traumatic brain injury, and that's just based on the time. If symptoms of post-concussion syndrome last longer than 3 months, they call it a traumatic brain injury. But if it's less than 3 months, then they chalk it up as something as a mild traumatic brain injury. And a lot of these mild traumatic brain injuries, people just go untreated and think nothing of it.
And symptoms, what is a typical symptom versus one that isn't noticed as much?
Well, mostly is, again, like sensitivity to light, irritation, fatigue with reading, a lot of gut disturbances. These are things that are associated with traumatic brain injury, but aren't always on the normal scale. Like scale is you have dizziness, you have vertigo, you have sensitivity to light, sound, headaches. That's like your typical
right
traumatic
after
brain
you
injury.
hit your head or you've been in an accident.
When that all goes away, and then all of a sudden you start developing gut issues, and you start developing food sensitivities, or you start developing emotional imbalances. They now want to be isolated. They want to be alone. They don't like the same hobbies that they once had. That can be also post-head trauma findings.
It is such a fascinating thing. I think so many people out there have let something slide and, like you're saying, they didn't pay attention. And it's such a huge repercussion when you're talking about the emotional side. Let's talk about how you share patients a bit with a lot of the leaders, including our own Dennis Parker from our wellness team.
Yeah, I have a lot of therapists that once they hit a sticking point in their ability that this patient isn't progressing or they're stuck, they'll refer them here because they know we're going to look at it from a brain standpoint. What's missing, what's not working. A structural problem has a structural solution. And if you can rehab the brain's functionality, again, the newest consensus on all traumatic brain injuries along all medical breakdown is we damage an area of the frontal lobe that deals with the positivity area of the brain, the reward, the happy center. And so if that's not working, all of a sudden you'll see these kids go from really excited about life to just lost everything.
Yeah.
And we touch it to child must be using drugs or must be self-medicating or must be addicted to something, when in reality they might just be suffering a post-traumatic brain injury and have thought nothing of it because even the symptoms they've had, they thought it was just normal. And some people think, as soon as I'm back to no symptoms, I'm gonna be just fine. And that's not what we're seeing 6 months, 9 months down the road with these post-traumatic brain injuries.
And then multiple falls, because this can last up to 30, 40 years post hitting your head the first time, and then maybe you have had secondary, third time. How much does that play in?
That's a great question. I think the more you have repetitive head traumas, the more the brain has to adapt. And that's what I've come to a knowledge over the last couple of years, is just to realize that there are people that come in here and they always say, was it this, my head trauma? And before I would say, hey, this finding specific is due to a head trauma. But in reality, we might not know that. What we do know is that this area of the brain isn't working. And so whether that was already problematic, then the traumatic brain injury didn't allow the brain to adapt, creating a host of problems down the road, or was it the head trauma that damaged that area? I really couldn't tell you, and no one can, but can we change it? The answer is yes. And that's what's so exciting about being in this field of neuroplasticians, is the ability to change the brain with not worrying what was the initial cause. Was it the time they slipped and hit their tailbone and broke their tailbone and did just a whiplash with no head hit? Or was it the time that their frontal lobe and their actual head hit the car window from like a really bad car accident? The real answer is, can you find it, can you repair it? And then once you repair it, do we expect the outcomes then to change? And that's when I see, referring back to the therapists and the clinicians that are talking people through their traumas and through their emotions, and they get such a greater outcome because they've rehabbed the brain.
So you are a licensed chiropractor, but you're not in here working on backs and hips and knees and all of that. You are a functional neurologist chiropractor. Explain your specialty there, because that took some time and some years. And tell me how that went into treating traumatic brain injuries.
Yeah, it's funny that you ask, because I get this a lot. A lot of times people are coming in here and they don't even know I'm a chiropractor, even though that's my license. But what I do is, Norman Deutsch coined this phrase, a neuroplastician. And a neuroplastician is someone who looks at the brain and tries to change its functionality and improve the outcome that someone might be dealing with, like a post-stroke victim that doesn't have use of the left arm. If you can rehab the aspects of the brain and get that arm to move or make things change with a broken system, that's what they're calling neuroplasticity. And so what we try to do is we use all the diagnostic tools to tell us what part of the brain's not working, and then once we understand that, we know how to rehab it. And whether that be through light therapy or neurofeedback or biofeedback, whatever the modality is, it really doesn't matter what discipline of medicine you might be in, as long as you're trying to improve brain function and change how a brain is working, then that's where that coined phrase of neuroplastician. So yes, by license, I'm a chiropractor. I love rehabbing brains, and so my passion and desire has gone strictly to how can I improve someone's function.
Well, and you are a leader in your industry. You are recognized and acknowledged both by your peers, and not only here locally, but nationally and internationally. You have people coming from all over the world because of your diagnostic ability. Your ability to get those test results and then to be able to come up with a plan is unmatched. And then beyond your special skills, you have the equipment here, like the gyro stem, and then you go through a series of exercises. Let's talk about what happens when they come in.
Yeah, so once they come in and we run the different diagnostics and we create a plan, we like to be in a week intense so that we know, are we changing this brain or are we not? And then there's continual at-home exercises to make the brain change. It's not like a one size fits all. It's not a one and done event week and we're done. It's like consistency is the key to change.
Well, and every single treatment plan you put together is customized for that brain, for that specific problem, and then you test your own plan week after week, day after day. So post-testing, let's talk about the importance of that.
Well, it's one thing to talk the big talk. It's another thing to, proofs in the pudding. As you diagnose and come up with, oh, okay, this area of the brain isn't changing, well, let's do a post-check and see, did we actually change it? And I think that's what's been so fascinating for me is not only seeing the symptoms change in a person's life, but actually seeing that the brain is plastic, it can change, and seeing a brain 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the road, and say they get another head trauma, and I review their exams, and every test is normal, then we know that brain can truly handle it. Because there are a lot of people that get head traumas that have no side effect and no symptom, and they go, I've had like 13 head traumas and I'm okay. They might be okay because the brain can adapt. Some brains can't. And that's what I worry about the most, is how many people are on this planet suffering because they have a hidden head trauma that they just think is just the way they are. They don't have to be that way. They don't have to suffer. And that's why, to me, it's worth coming here to see a change that can make a life-changing experience for your family, for your relationships, for your just own personal confidence.
You truly have been able to help people who have been multiple places before and really, even in this line of help, had a hard time finding what they needed. And suicidality and anxiety, depression, I mean, all of those things are such heavy, heavy issues that plague our society right now. And those are all things that are alleviated when you do have trauma to those centers. And if you've exhausted your resources with medication, with diet, with the therapist, all of those things are not working. That is where what you do is something that I always feel so great about telling people to just get in here, because what do you have to lose? Either testing will say, yeah, something happened, or it won't.
And as you talked about the topic of suicide and anxiety and depression, we've seen so many cases that have had severe attempts at suicide, and we see where the breakdown is in their brain and get it to change. I mean, there's a lot of OCD and breakdowns in reward systems and hyperfixations. There's so much to the brain that people didn't understand, and we're still learning it. I've learned more in the last 3 months than I learned 3 years. And it's so exciting to see what we can do and how more specific we can get in therapy and treatment, and know that we're gonna have an outcome that can save this person's life. That matters to me.
So if you want more information, log onto the website. We have many online consultations or online trainings. There's all kinds of information. If you would like more of it, learning more about Dr. Hatch, more about the facility, log into the website. You can purchase one of those. And that way it speeds up the whole process for you, because pretty much you get that first consultation, all those questions out of the way. And then when you get into here, you can really just focus on your results, your testing. So it's a great way to go. We welcome you to check that out, or just give them a call, set up an appointment, get your testing done, because at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. We will know what to do when you look at those tests.
Absolutely.
Dr. Hatch, thank you for your time.
Thank you so very much.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Talk365TV right after this.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my passion has always been to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. TV has helped MyPillow become the amazing company that it is today. So my employees and I want to thank you with some of our best prices ever. Go to MyPillow.com right now and click on TV specials. You'll get deep discounts on MyPillows, mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regular $89.99 for only $29.99 with your promo code.
Talk365TV is proud to announce their new studio home, Ignite Studios, for all your video needs. And welcome back to the show. We've learned a lot of information, and so let me give you the good news.
Okay.
I'm going to be married for a little while longer.
You didn't lose it?
She put her foot down on hockey, and she does not want me playing because of COVID-19 and being around. And I thought about fighting it. Here's the thing. She said, you can play, but you'll be in the guest bedroom and you'll have a mask on the whole time in the house, which makes eating difficult. So there are times when you punt. I kicked on second down here, but
Here's what happens when you marry someone as amazing as Vida, and not that you're not amazing, but she is definitely an amazing woman and so accomplished. I feel like you have risen to the occasion so well, and I'm so proud of you.
I am so pissed off about this. I want to play.
But at the heart of it, when we're talking about people who are falling apart, I mean, you have to know how great you are together and how amazing and lucky.
Here's the thing. I've got a new knee.
Right.
I've got a new hip. I've got a new shoulder. I have been playing out at Acord. It's called stick and puck, where you just go out and you just shoot, skate, maybe past other people. It's not a scrimmage. It's totally COVID safe.
Just working out.
The clock has been turned back almost 9 years. And then to find out I can't play on a team in a league where everyone knows me as the guy who's always in pain. I had this whole scenario where I skate on the ice and the dancers, clouds part, skate past every.
Trips the new star.
That scenario goes through my mind, and all of a sudden it's been ranked.
Well, here's the thing. A year goes by really fast, and I think this year is one where a lot of people have missed proms, missed special occasions, missed seasons, missed all kinds of things. And so this one will be yours, and it will hurt. It's not to take away the fact that it will hurt, and you've done a lot of prep for it. But if you keep visualizing, they say that like brings it to pass. Manifest.
I even developed a new skating style. I was watching YouTube videos about how to get more edge control, more speed.
Wait, did you practice this summer in your inline skates and your cutoffs?
I skated a lot on my rollerblades, I'll have you know, and that one woman my age who's faster, no more.
Is she
I don't know, but I've
you?
got this new technique. I'm going to blow her away.
Is it top secret, or can you share?
Well,
Does it involve your caboose? Because you said you really have to rear up in the caboose to get going.
Well, you do have to change the angle of the caboose, and that's why skaters have nice cabooses.
Right. Maybe that's something I need to do. We have some new bands that we are working with, a company called B3 Sciences that is supposed to use the technology of blood flow. Have you heard of that? They use it in the Olympics with Olympians. It's out of Japan originally, and then actually a partner from Park City started this company where they put the bands on, and what it does is it forces you into a higher level of working out than you would otherwise be in a shorter amount of time. So you can just go for a walk and it would basically be like a 3-mile sprint.
Well, I want to use
So maybe we need to just band you up, get you all ready for next year. We'll just do some visualizations and we'll survive, and you'll stay married to a wonderful lady that we all love.
Okay, that'll do it. For Holly, I'm Trip. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. What was that word? Kaczynski? Babinski? Wiki-wacky?
Wiki-wacky.
No, what was
Nudnik.
it? Nudnik.